Modpack reviews are back, baby! I'm off vacation, and we're starting with a modpack that has given me complicated emotions. Off to a stellar start. I asked you all in a poll here on YouTube what I should review next, and while it was close, at the time I decided to pick the pack, Liminal Industries won, and it was also the winner on Discord. Link down below if you aren't there yet. Liminal Industries is a mod pack that takes your tech-based progression mod pack and throws you into the backrooms. Ooh. This pack caught my attention just due to its premise alone, and due to the fact I recall my mods discussing it at one point, so I figured I'd start with this one. But enough yapping. I know what you all are here for. Is it good? Is it bad? Do I regret my decision to return from my vacation? Stay tuned and find out. Also hit the like and sub button, check out my second channel for alternative content, and share the video around with your friends. Or don't, you do? I'm not your mom. Let's start no clipping with the good. Let's go ahead and just start with the obvious detail right away. The world structure. Being in the backrooms is a very fun idea that I haven't seen other mod packs attempt, and the way the world generates has been relatively lag-free. On top of which, it generates in a mostly fun and interesting way. You got your thin hallways, different room heights, weird entryways where like the entryway to the hallway is kind of like off the floor a little bit, ceiling crawl spaces, loads of different room types that you'll get lost in for easily hours. It made exploring feel enjoyable for a while, which is an astounding accomplishment given the setting. It's also worth noting that even the Nether isn't the Nether anymore, but instead a strange collection of like bookshelves and just books all over the place, like some sort of abandoned library in the abyss. This new version of the Nether having its own batch of resources you can use. More on this later. I also appreciate the mod pack actually understands the point of the backrooms. To prevent me from going into a tirade only fit for my second channel, link in the description, I'm going to keep it simple. The modern fan idea of the backrooms is just a far more inferior spin on the SCP Foundation. The current fan idea completely misses the point, and I don't like it. The original idea was that you were in an empty, never-ending office space with nothing there. That includes living life. There was no monster. The whole idea was that you were by yourself, stuck in an endless yellow-walled purgatory. That's the point. The mod pack does have some mobs in it, which we'll discuss later, but the mod pack more or less understood this and kept 90% of the backrooms completely docile. Nice on you guys for not going for the low-hanging jump scare fruit. Regarding the mobs, the stand-in for all mobs are skulk variants that sometimes spawn in skulk patches around the backrooms. You can't build on skulk, and the patches sometimes even have spawners of these variants. These variants will stick around these patches almost like an infection, so I kinda dig it. If we're gonna have mobs in the pack, I much prefer this over random cryptid number 473. Enough about the map though, let's talk progression. The mod pack does a really solid job at making the backrooms not just a map you're in, but a genuine part of the experience. To get started, you have to find loose furniture to break down into wood, then cut up some carpet, get some concrete shards from the floor under it, and then collect dust. Then you collect water using a sponge you crafted on wet carpet, and from there the pack really begins to unlock. The map itself plays a key role in your progression and has its own mechanics tied to it that you have to keep in mind, like silverfish jumping out of carpet when dusted, or stripping the walls for wallpaper, which it will grow back. Power boxes actually keeping the lights on in sectors of the map. I appreciate the extra miles that were taken to make the map not feel just tossed in for gimmick's sake. The quest book is also pretty well structured and does a great job educating the player on the mechanics of the pack. It's not too cluttered, you can clearly see where it goes to what, and I do think the pack makes your progression feel very natural. They also resisted the urge to constantly hand you broken stuff, which I appreciate more than you can possibly imagine. I also think this mod pack makes it a serviceable entry-level point for players who wish to try tech packs. It doesn't really overcomplicate any processes in a way that I feel like would scare off new players, and it keeps it relatively simple. Wow, you might be saying to yourself, this seems really interesting. Why did you title the video the way that you did? Well, you might have noticed that the pros section didn't really list a lot of distinct gameplay bits. Surely there's more to it, right? Nope. This might be one of the very few instances where I was so bored I lost my interest halfway in. Which, if you ask me, is one of the worst things your pack can do. Say what you want about good or bad mod packs, you came away from the experience feeling something. In a strange way, a bad pack is about as memorable as a good one and provides something for you. Boredom means I'm going to forget about this after an Arby's sandwich and a nap. There is nothing worse for a game or mod pack to do than leave me with the emotion of incredible indifference. Because then all it will do is make me feel like I'm genuinely doing nothing and wasting my time. I could have been playing a different pack. I could have clocked 30 more hours in Megabunk. I could have gone outside. Okay, maybe not that one. People are scary. How is this mod pack boring? Well, I'm glad you asked me. Aside from the fact that I think the footage speaks for itself, let's go ahead and dissect each individual reason. For starters, your primary form of progression is the create mod. No ifs, no buts, no coconuts. It is your bread and butter. You have other mods here, and they do see some rather light use, but the problem is that the pack structures itself mostly around create's features. And let me just say, when I saw that the first mod I was going to be diving into was create, to say my eyes rolled would be an understatement. I get it's a good mod, and objectively speaking, there's nothing wrong with it being here. I'm just tired of seeing it. I would have rather had options. Which actually brings me to my next point. you don't have those. How you accomplish progressing doesn't really give you many options to experiment. You do a specific thing in a specific way, and that's it. And if the thing does have options for execution, it's in Create as well. Have fun. This may sound like it's good design, which to some extent I agree. The problem is the fun of tech mod packs is that they normally give you more than one option to solve a problem. Usually a few options to start, and by the halfway point of the pack, you should have a number of options. This one, I'm beyond the halfway point, and the only deviation I was given really was Tinker's Construct for a brief blip. And once you have that, congrats! Guess who's back to doing Create? Create is in every single aspect. In fact, I find it more annoying that immersive engineering is here in the first place because I know that mod is incredibly fun, but it's been delegated to a crafting ingredient provider. And no, I don't mean as in making a machine to give you an ingredient. I mean the mod's contents are mostly utilized in crafting recipes. And the ovens? Literally there for a small portion of the pack's early game for coal, and then it's back to Create, peasant. There are mods here just staring me in the face that I'm not allowed to touch because the pack insists on using Create and its add-ons. I'm gonna move on before I have a stroke. My next issue is the pack is easy. If you're looking for a challenge, which you'd expect from a pack that doesn't spawn you in a default world, Liminal Industries doesn't just not provide a challenge, it lacks one in general. The only time you'll ever be attacked by something is if you go to the skulk sections and hope you stumble upon a spawner there. Hostile mobs do not spawn otherwise. You'd think that breaking the breaker box would cause mobs to spawn when the lights go out, which would add some risk to you just getting gold willy-nilly, but no. Nothing bad happens. You're just in a dark room and the torch fixes that. And since all your tech is under the mod Create, there's really no cross-mod requirements. The challenge of a tech mod pack isn't just the fact that things are scary for a while until they're not. It's the fact of how you get things automated between different mods that do certain functions better. A lot of mod packs accomplish this by making it to where only certain technology mods are capable of creating certain resources, and it allows them all to sort of play with each other. Making it to where Create is the primary go-to mod for literally everything completely throws that out the window because then you're not playing with the other mods, you're just playing with the Create mod, and the other mods are just sort of there watching. So to simplify that, the fun of a tech mod pack isn't so much there's tech in it, but more so how the tech all plays with each other to create a satisfying progression loop. And in this pack, as we discussed, everything else is irrelevant except for Create. So the tech progression isn't hard, and the world itself is not a threat. And you'd think the Nether might have something, but it's docile as a lamb as well. I feel like the pack thought that its world gen and limitations would be enough to be a challenge, but it never ended up being one, and all it took was making signs or placing blocks to help you find your way back. And to further solidify the fact that the tech progression isn't hard, I only played for maybe about like 12 hours, and I was more than halfway in. And I'm gonna be real that most of that playtime was me running around in circles. So then that begs the question, exactly how much content was in this pack? And this is where my next gripe comes in. The pack is incredibly short. I've brought up my playtime a few times, but I need to bring it up again to make a comparison. In this pack, I made it to a little beyond the halfway point before I decided to bail and write the script out of boredom, and that time span took me about 10 hours. On the other hand, the other mod packs I've played had me playing for about a week or more, and some of those I still didn't get to the halfway point. Putting that into perspective, I could make the assumption that if I'm being generous, I had maybe another 15 hours of content, leaving us with a total of 25 hours. Now to be entirely fair, for free content, that's certainly a number, but if we are going to compare this pack to the other tech packs in the market, this hardly scratches the air around the competition. Even comparing it to smaller packs I've played like Sky Factory and Tekkit Classic, the content variety still doesn't compare. I'm sure getting the map to work in its own way with the progression took time. There's certainly effort here. It's just not what I expected from something called Liminal Industries. Now, it's worth noting that I did see a certain tag on the mod pack, that tag being multiplayer, so I'm going to take a swing and guess this pack was built with multiplayer in mind and not single player, which means that the idea is it's better with friends, and that's all fine and dandy. The problem is I don't subscribe to that being an excuse, because it's a well-known universal law that anything is better with friends. Watching bad movies is better with friends. Dinner is better with friends. Being waterboarded is better with friends. I genuinely hate the argument of it's better with friends because that's just universally the case, so stop using it as an excuse to give things a passing grade. My point with this whole tirade is that building things with only multiplayer in mind ignores the fact that most players of modded Minecraft play single player. If your single player experience is boring, then that's the consensus most players will walk away with. And that's the one I'm walking away with and ending my playthrough with. Liminal Industries had a rather interesting concept, but I think it banks too hard on its map carrying the whole experience. There's certainly potential in its concept, but its execution is just kinda disappointing. This is genuinely the first time I've put down a pack out of sheer boredom, which, given I'm playing modded Minecraft, is quite the accomplishment. I do genuinely hope the pack gets better with time, because I really do want it to succeed. I'd love to play through something like this, but with more tech variety, and hey, even despite everything I've said, consider giving this mod pack a try anyways. Mod packs are normally free and usually developed actively. Don't let the words of an internet caveman stop you. For all you know, you might like it. All that being said, it's time for the first mod pack vote in a long time. Y'all excited? Your options are Vault Hunters 3, Prominence 2, Craft to Exile 2. A very RPG heavy listing, to be honest. As per usual, leave a comment down below on what your vote is, but this time with a twist. If a mod pack I did not put on the list gets top comment, it will overrule the vote. The only stipulation being I haven't covered it before. With the rules in place, submit your vote now. This has been the Bottom Dweller. It's good to be back.